The end of the year streaming report finally verified what so many of us have been saying for months and months, that The Acolyte for Disney Star Wars, in addition to, quite frankly, just being a colossal piece of shit that the audience completely and wholeheartedly rejected, was also a complete and total ratings failure. You could see as it was coming out on the Nielsen charts how pathetically it was performing, the worst Disney Star Wars streaming show in history up to that point, and also it cost over $200 million to make this piece of garbage. Well, that report finally came out and confirmed everything we had been saying, and despite Disney Star Wars shills and some people associated with The Acolyte, including the actors, they tried to make it seem like it was a big brag, oh, look how well it performed. No, the facts are, it was truly miserable. And even some of the outlets are coming around and understanding that after finally reading the report, where the report specifically calls The Acolyte a failure. The Acolyte viewership data hints at biggest reason for the Star Wars show's cancellation. It's because no one watched it. It was the biggest failure they ever had ratings-wise on Disney Plus for a show that cost twice as much as most of the other things that come out. It was abysmal. That's why it didn't get a season 2. But for Leslye Headland, it looks like this might be the end of streaming in general for her. Now, we know she worked with Netflix for Russian Dolls, and she was on schedule to do some other things for Netflix as well. Apparently, that's not the case anymore. Netflix adaptation of The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo suffers blow as director quits. And apparently that is the report that's out there, that Leslye Headland, she stepped away from it, wants to focus on other things. Leslye Headland steps down from Netflix, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo adaptation. And this all comes from an article on Variety, where there's Leslye Headland right there. Oof. Leslye Headland will adapt stage hit Cult of Love for film. Kiss Evelyn Hugo goodbye and remember The Acolyte as a teenage dream. After a remarkable creative year on Broadway and in a galaxy far, far away, the writer-director looks ahead. Now, Cult of Love is something that she wrote about, a family that has a lot of differences. Basically, her life, right? Everything that Leslye Headland does is all about her life. Whether it's a Broadway play about an allegory about Harvey Weinstein, who she was his personal assistant, by the way. Don't know if that was just handling his schedule, getting him coffee, holding the door shut while he did whatever he did to all those actresses. I don't know. No idea what it entailed being Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant, but these are the only things she knows how to write, which is why The Acolyte is the way that it was. But this is what she said. After a run on Broadway for Cult of Love that started this summer, that's what she's going to focus on going forward. Broadway's a big deal. And I would say to 13-year-old Leslye, to do a Star Wars story, then Broadway, it's mind-blowing. Headland recently shared with Variety. The Rushin Dolls co-creator's upbringing is top of mind in Cult of Love, which is originally staged at Berkeley Rep. And I think that was like 6 or 7 years ago when it first came out. And then I don't think it got a Broadway run until just this year, or this past year. The relentless dramedy about the deterioration of a religious family on Christmas Eve, which bagged Zachary Quinto, Shailene Woodley, and Headland's spouse, Rebecca Henderson. Oh, right, Rebecca Henderson, who played one of the worst characters in The Acolyte, who happens to be Leslye Headland's lesbian wife, also has roles in her other projects. How weird, how strange. Who could have guessed that? She must just be an incredible actress to keep getting these roles in association with Leslye Headland. The play, which was explored in depth with this podcast, will lead Headland back to feature films. She's currently drafting and developing a film adaptation of Cult of Love. Due to scheduling complications, however, numerous fandoms will be disappointed to learn Headland is no longer attached to direct the Netflix film adaptation of Taylor Jenkins Reid's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now, she says it's just scheduling complications, who knows, can't do it, but she's not going to be doing streaming anymore. She's working on her own thing, right? The thing that she made a while ago, adapting that for film, and we'll see how many dozens of people go out to see that. Listen, if I were one of these big streamers, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with Leslye Headland. I wouldn't have anything to do with her after what we saw, the disaster that was The Acolyte, quite frankly. And for Netflix, whether it's scheduling complications, whether it's something else, no longer attached to the project. But I imagine Rebecca Henderson will probably get a role in her film as well, because that's how things work with Leslye Headland. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.